super exciting is to see those backup strats, to see which player has the disaster recovery down.
And it looks like we're getting started. I see that Larvi is skipping the first mushroom. I think we saw that yesterday from both our contestants. So I'm interested to see whether or not he tries to go for the small fire Mario glitch, which essentially makes it a little easier for you to be able to play with Fire Mario. You don't have that huge hitbox of Mario jumping around.
Yep. Yeah, we heard tell of small fire yesterday, but we did not see any, so perhaps we'll see it now. Both players foregoing the first power-up, like you said. I also wonder if that just means that they'll both go for small only. You never know if LarviStar might just be more comfortable with that in a race setting.
Right, and with the addition of them skipping the second one as well, I think we can safely assume, I haven't seen either one of these runners go for the mushroom in 1-3 or 1-4, so I think we can safely assume that we will be going for small fire here, probably with the 1-3 mushroom.
Yeah, good to see, and good 1-2 from both. Looks like we're definitely seeing a little bit of safety strats for small only, which is super important for 1-2. 1-2 is a very treacherous level to take on small.
Right, those pipe jumps can be really brutal. Again, if you get killed by those pipe jumps, the race gets a lot farther apart just from that alone. So I definitely agree with their decision there.
Yeah. And they've skipped the 1-3 mushroom. Oh, we see a first death for LarviStar. You know, I think I know exactly what happened there. LarviStar has probably been doing a lot of big fire runs for PB, right. And when you're big fire, you can run straight off that tree, and your hitbox collides with the Koopa, and you stomp him, and you survive. But if you're small, you don't hit him, and you fall.
So I think that's probably just threw him off a little bit there. I think he might be going back to small Warpless as sort of a comfort because he did it for a while.
Yep. Yeah,
but Smith finishing up. All right. And it looks like, I mean, at this point, I couldn't see them going for any of the 2-1 mushroom grabs.
Yep.
So we got small against small. This is really cool to see. You don't see this a lot, especially both runners.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see two small only runs at once. Absolutely. Because you never really know until 1-4, because like technically the fastest power-ups to pick up are in 1-3. Right. So if they skip all the way to 1-3, then you know, well, now it still might be small fire.
Right, exactly. And we're coming up with and we get Larvi with another death. So we're gonna need some mistakes here from Smith to come out for comeback coming up here. That's all right though.
That was one of those really brutal deaths for LarviStar also that I'm always afraid of, where if there are multiple Goombas in a row, it's so easy to accidentally jump between them and get hit, and it freaks me out every time.
Oh yeah, 2-1 is definitely a very scary level. A lot of different areas where, again, if a jump gets eaten or, something like that, it can cause a disaster. 2-2 as well. Coming through here, I see he's missing all of the fishes. He's doing a great job. Let's see how LarviStar can handle it.
And a quick mention of the Warpless tournament rules is that, so we don't use warp zones in Warpless, so you have to play through every level. As far as warp pipes go, though, for mid-level, as far as like sub-zones go, 1-1 is actually the only level in the entire game that the traversing the sub-zone is faster than just running across the overworld.
Right. They exist in a lot of different levels where you can, but again, 1-1, as you said, is definitely... I know for a while there, I think that was actually banned for Warpless. If you go back, I want to say around maybe 8 to 10 years ago with Twin Galaxies. So they eventually made that legal. So I think it makes sense,
Yeah.
So we get a 3:07 Mario game time for LarviStar. It's a very solid 2-2.
Yeah, almost perfect.
Right, I think the best you can get is a 3:10. So really strong. And 2-4, I can't wait to see this as well too. The fire bars are not that big of a deal in this level, especially as small Mario. Then like 5-4 comparative, but it can still be a little tricky here, especially with these elevators.
Yeah, jumping across the elevators is also just a little bit easier to do small, because big you have to do a duck jump. So you have to land into a duck and duck jump out of it, and it's a bit more complicated. It's another one of those things that being small isn't necessarily faster, but it is safer.
It definitely is. Yeah, those duck jumps are nothing to mess around with. They can be very challenging, especially when you have to do them consecutively throughout tight levels like any of the Bowser courses and so forth. We have SmiithTV dropping off right there at the beginning of 3-1. This will give a little bit more time, and we got a race again.
Yeah.
Finishing up 2-4, and boom.
Only one castle fanfare behind, and that's the exciting thing about the fact that they were only one level apart before. That's just such a small amount of time.
Exactly. So again, it's all going to come down to consistency here, and who can make the least amount of mistakes.
Yep.
Sure.
And one thing to point out also is that unless LarviStar is able to collect a life from coins, he's down to 1 life, and so we might see. At the start of this world, it was possible to see an intentional death in order to game over and refill their lives.
So game overing, I was going to say, game overing definitely makes it a little easier. It makes it a little more safer when you do it right in the beginning. Just because if you get to that Bowser level, you get to 3-3, 3-4, and then you game over. You have to do the entire world all over again.
Exactly.
But yeah, keep going.
Oh yeah, just that in a race, it might be a little safer to just take that early on intentional death in order to refill the lives without wasting any time.
Right, and for anyone that doesn't know, if you hit start and A at the same time at the game over screen, you're able to go back to the world that you died in. So if you die in 3-3, you're able to go back to 3-1. So makes it a little better, like we said, with the intentional death for strategies.
We haven't seen it though. LarviStar is going for it, and I would
I like
it. Yeah, I like it, and I would expect 1-up in probably 4-1, 4-1 or 4-2.
Yeah, I think that would be a really smart play for him to do here. Just because I feel like he's probably not going for the intentional death because he's right on Smith's tail. But I think that would be a really smart decision there as well. And in 3-4, it can be really tricky here, too, with these jumps. We'll see a lot of runners stopping after these fire bars for a second, just to make the patterns a little more easier, because those load boosts can really get you.
All right, Smith and LarviStar both make it into World 4.
Beautiful. We got a close race going. And like you said yesterday, the race really starts to pick up once we hit that World 5. At least for a lot of runners, World 5 is definitely considered one of the least favorite, just because there's so many different elements that can really throw off your run and make it really tricky.
Yeah, World 4 picks up the fun. Like I love World 4 just playing it. But
4-1 is beautiful. It's a nice for runners. It's a nice kind of like cool down from the run. Think about where you're at. You know what I mean, before you progress on to some of the trickier levels.
At least 4-1 is. 4-2 gets a little trickier, but
yeah, for sure.
but right. It's always that part on your run where you go, oh, I'm ahead of PB, cool, and then you realize, wait a second, that's because World 5 is next.
Exactly. World 5 is very scary, and we're seeing we're seeing one of the methods right here. I'm wondering what Larvi's going to go for. Oh, so they both go top route. Okay, interesting. I think we saw bottom yesterday from both runners.
Yeah, yesterday I think it was both. It was both at the same time.
Okay. I want to say that the top route is easier just because you don't have to, especially without firepower. It's a lot easier just because you don't have to deal with the piranha plants going forward.
For sure. If I did small only strats, I would probably do top route.
Yeah, no, it's got to be really hard to do with all those pipe jumps and so forth. 4-3, another fun level.
Yeah, and a very small slowdown from Smith might give LarviStar an opportunity to catch up just a little bit here. But otherwise, Smith is looking with a pretty healthy level lead here.
Yeah, this is a pretty solid lead for him. 4-4 is pretty straightforward. It can be very tricky with Bowser towards the end of the level. It's very clustered in that area, but we'll see how he can take it on.
As an aside that I'd like to point out, I forgot to mention earlier that I really genuinely love and appreciate the camera pointed at a TV. It's very old school. I'm all about old school. I love it.
Yeah, no, it is a very nostalgic look, definitely, for the gameplay. All right, both 4-4 beautifully. I think they were both 350s. I think Smith got that as well. So very clean.
Very clean, and into World 5 where things get super spicy.
Yeah, 5-1 isn't that big of a deal for the most part, difficulty-wise, but definitely 5-2 and on really tests you, especially the cannon that we're going to see in the beginning of 5-2. Yep. I'm curious to see how they approach it, because depending on what frame you start the level, it could hit you right in the face.
Yeah, so 5-2 starts out with the cannon. It's also when we start to see Hammer Bros.
Right.
So there's just all kinds of new challenges here.
Smith just goes for the jump over. Beautiful.
I love that strat there. Let's see LarviStar handle it.
Okay. A little left tap there for a little bit of safety, but neither of them got the bullet shot, luckily. And they're able to pass on. And that ending jump right there that Smith got that little bonk on could be tricky as well, just because you need to jump right at the end of the platform, like as late as it gets.
Yeah. Ooh, LarviStar went for a different strat that I haven't actually seen before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I would consider that a little bit safer. You can bop off the Koopa and be able to not have to do that really tight long jump at the end.
Ooh, Smith got a really bad bill there where he meant to land on the platform and jump over the Koopas, but the bullet bill bounced him right into the Goomba. I think I said Koopa the first time. I meant Goomba both times. Yeah,
and like we were saying, again, depending on what frame you enter this level, you're going to have different patterns. So these guys are kind of just reacting as they play.
Oh, and LarviStar just took the lead because Smith went into the pit on the hardest part of 5-3, which is these two platforms right in a row here.
That's exactly what Larvi needed now. And I think Smith is down to 1 life as well, maybe? So definitely we're playing it very close here. Smith has definitely got to play careful if he wants to proceed here and not get a game over.
Right, right. He might have 2 lives if he got the coin one up, but we're about to see.
He might, not. Okay.
Oh, no, you're right.
Technically 2. But one on the screen.
I think this game is a 1 on the screen is 1 left. I'm pretty sure there's no 0 lives in this one. It's been a little bit, but I think 1 means that a death is game over.
Okay. Well, definitely. Well, either way, it's super scary.
Either way, I'm very glad. Oh my gosh!
Right now, yeah. Oof.
Yeah, he played it very safe on that Bowser there.
Ooh, but I don't blame him though.
Oh yeah, and the issue is if you play it with if you play it too safe on Bowser, then he starts shooting fireballs, which if they go onto the bottom row, you have to react very quickly to that.
Right. Exactly. And 6-2 is another one of these tricky levels, and I'm really excited to see how these guys go for it, because with firepower, this level becomes a lot more simple. But without, you have all these piranha plants everywhere. We already see 1 pipe jump from Larvi.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, right, when you're small, if you want to go fast, you have to do pipe jumps, which are so risky and difficult to go for in a race. But
yeah, and Larvi's
he went for 1 and nailed it. Yeah.
Nice little jump right there too. Nice.
Ooh, I like that. The strat on the stairs there too, under the Koopa.
Barely avoiding fireworks, just barely missing that 6, which would have been devastating. So that was a very nice display of 6-2 from Larvi. And it's great to see this because, again, you see most runners doing big fires, so it really changes it up.
Yeah, and Smith is going through 6-2, very similar strats. Oh, you see, that was very interesting. See, he went for a faster strat on the stairs than what Larvi did, which almost got him a 7 on the timer, which would have been better, but not quite. So he had to pull back to avoid the 6, and it ended up actually being a little bit slower.
Yeah, no, that was scary for sure. And for anyone that doesn't know, if you end the in-game timer with a 1, a 3, or a 6, fireworks will play after you've completed the level, which makes the transition slower to the next level than if you were to get a 5 or a 2. Other than 1 firework. 1 firework does not lose any time. All right, and beautiful 6-4. See how Smith can handle it with all these fire bars.
The toughest level in Warpless will vary depending on who you ask. 6-2 is a good answer, small. 8-3 is very, very difficult small as well, though.
Right. Yeah, that's the same type of thing. It's patterns, like those Hammer Bros could just jump, and you have no idea when they're going to, and they could hit you.
Ooh, LarviStar jumped into a piranha plant there, and now they're timed back up. So it looked like LarviStar went to jump over the pipe just like that, but he brushed against the pipe, which slowed down his momentum and landed him right on the piranha plant. But Smith, he takes an early death. Oh, that might have actually been intentional for the life refill.
Yeah, I think that was. I think that's playing it smart here. I mean, this is still a close race for both of them.
Yep.
Anything can go. And again, we got World 8 coming up. And the thing about 7-2, 7-3, 7-4, and 8-1 is there's only one power-up throughout that entire level. So if we were to see a big fire, this is when the levels get a little more scary. Definitely, there's only the one in 7-3. These guys will just be able to cruise through and have no problem.
Yeah, until 8-3, though, again, with those Hammer Bros. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I'm excited. We'll see how they take it, if we see any different, safer strats or anything like that.
So both still in the same level all the way into this race is always really exciting as well. Just having such a close race.
Yeah, no, these guys are really playing well. We've had a few deaths. Ooh, you see that LarviStar right there, playing it safe. That blooper can hit you right there and send you back the entire level.
Yeah, that's one thing to point out also is that most of the game, the levels are checkpointed, and if you do take a death, you go halfway back in. But this far into the game, they stopped doing checkpoints. Oh, SmiithTV also with a bit of a tough pattern there. Oh!
Close. That was very close. I just skimmed him, I feel like.
Yeah, I think he might have had enough room to brush up in there, except that spot of the level kind of sucks you towards the center, and I think that sucked him right into the blooper. Right.
No, that was definitely an unfortunate pattern for him to get. And we see Larvi cleaning up 7-3 here, entering 7-4, which is another one of our pattern Bowser levels. That could be a little tricky. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and now we're seeing about the lead that Smith had earlier. We're now seeing about that much of a lead in LarviStar's favor.
Right. No, this has been swinging back and forth, and we still have a whole world left. So I'm curious to see how they play 8-1 with small. If they go for pipe jumps, if they go for a 200, or if they're more, or the in-game time of a 200, or if they're going more for the safe strats, getting maybe like a lower 190 or something of that sort.
Yeah, I'd expect, if they're going for safe strats, I think I would expect to see 195.
Right. Yeah, I can't wait to see. I mean, I'm curious, maybe Larvi pulls out some of the harder strats to try and catch up. Or not Larvi, I'm sorry, Smith.
I think Smith might have just... Oh, there's the intentional game over from LarviStar to refill lives in World 8. This is the place to do it. I very much agree with that decision.
100%. That was very smart. All right. Okay, so we're getting a safer 8-1, and I don't blame him at all with this type of lead.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, we got Smith finishing up here, like a little bit, not too bad. Still getting the pattern, should be good to go.
So the big difference that you'll see with 8-1, and the reason that we were talking about safe strats is the fact that there's a lot of pipes in this level that are not great to jump straight over because there's too much business right behind them. So, 197 for LarviStar.
Wow,
so,
that is a really solid safe time.
Yeah, I would call that the fast safe strats.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only really seen like maybe at 95, like you were saying. So that's it's really good. He's playing really well. All right, and 8-2. We know there's the cluster of Koopas in the middle that could really cause some problems here. And again, I'd love to see how Larvi takes this. I'm sure he's going to play it a little safer.
Oh, Smith actually went for a pipe jump on the 3 piranha plants. So it looks like he's looking to make up a little bit of ground here. Yeah,
and I think widely it is accepted that in 8-1, that middle pipe jump is the easiest, the least risky. So he gets 198 too, saving a little bit of time over Larvi.
Yeah, 198. Beautiful time.
Here comes 8-3. Let's find out. Are the hammers going to be nice today, or?
Okay, LarviStar expertly handled the first pair. Now up here, they generally jump upward to look at where they are. Got past the second ones, but now we have the gauntlet. Drop kicks the first one. Beautiful. And the rest of them let him past. Excellent.
All right. And he does the intentional bonk there to stop the fireworks. It's beautiful. If you play through the level perfectly, you end up getting a 2:43 on the timer, which would actually be slower than doing that little bonk.
Yep. And I just noticed Smith had a very excellent ending, at least, on 8-2. Really, really speeding up and not really making any mistakes here to keep the pressure on Larvi. Because if Larvi dies now, then Smith will basically catch up all the way back up.
Right, it's anyone's game if we see one death from Larvi here, and Smith definitely playing as best as he can.
Yeah, he took an interesting path there on those Hammer Bros, but then just crushed them and did it.
It worked out. It worked
Perfect
out.
8-3 for Smith also.
Beautiful. And we have 2 more little levels here, finishing up the water room, and then we got Bowser himself. Beautiful water.
Yeah, perfect water room. So now Larvi is in the final room.
I think, yeah, you'll probably
Bit of a bad
here.
Bowser, but good. Excellent.
Beautiful.
Finishes up with a 20-28.
Which is definitely a respectable race time. Great to see. Overall from Larvi.
Ooh, Smith missed the wall jump, then went for the backup hidden block, but he hit the hidden block on the corner, so it knocked him back into the Koopa.
Yeah, those Koopas can be really tricky if you don't hug the left side after missing a wall jump, just because they're bouncing towards you and they don't give you a lot of space to hit the block and get right back on top of it. All right, let's see.
Bit of a tough setup on the wall jump room that time also because of a brush against a pipe.
Right. Good turnaround room, really well on the pixel there. And 2 more levels from Smith, and we'll have our GG. A little bonk there on the water, but okay.
Yeah, it was...
Yeah, you gotta
love that strat. Took it safe on the Potaboo. I like taking it safe on the Potaboo, and there we are.
And he gets that forward Bowser pattern to finish it off. Beautiful performance from both of these runners. They really gave it them all here. We saw a lot of safe, smart strats. That was a really exciting match. I think we turned leads at least a few times there.
Yeah, definitely. It was very interesting to see that pretty significant early lead from Smith, and then it kind of turned back and forth a couple times, and then we saw the same lead in LarviStar's favor for the win. That was excellent.
Keeping a level head, even if you're behind by a level, knowing what type of game this is and how things can just change and flip-flop with one little mistake, one little A-press,
And as we were saying the whole time also, just really cool to see small strats also. There's so many different ways to go through the game as far as what people are comfortable with or feel the safest with in a race setting. So, yeah,
right.
Just always excellent to see the different strats represented.
This was definitely a treat to be able to see both small Warpless. Again, when we get more races down the line, we probably will see fire or small fire majority of the time. So it's really cool, both these runners pulling out their small Warpless strats, their pipe jumps, their different strats that we don't usually see. So GG's to both of them. Both played really well.
Yeah, great race. I enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, everyone, also. And we'll see you guys for more tournament races. In fact, just tonight, we have another race, which I have to real quick go find. Yeah, I think it's 9 p.m. Eastern. That is correct. Between Jeremy MKW and Badap, that's going to be on SpeedGaming 5. So yeah, if you want to keep up with all that as well as the other stuff on SpeedGaming, make sure to check out the website, join the Discord, look at the schedules and all that. And yeah, I hope to see you guys tonight at 9.
Sounds great. We'll see you guys then.